Well, hello everybody. How are we doing today? How are we doing today? This beautiful Thursday. At least it's beautiful out here in the Bay. It's fantastic out here in the Bay. The weather, chef's kiss, beautiful. Sunny, not a cloud in the sky. Nice fall temperatures. Really nice. Really nice. How are we doing though? Obviously, we're going to be on here. We're going to talk about some stuff. As we know, the LA Rams have officially signed Odell Beckham Jr. to a 1-year deal. And guess what? Odell Beckham Jr. hopes and plans to play against the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football coming up this week. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. How are we doing? First of all, how's the fam doing? Sourdough Squad, get in here. Let's talk about it. Let's cry about it. Whatever we need to do. Obviously, there's some other news that happened as well. The 49ers made some noise as well. They wanted to get into throw their hat into the ring for the wide receiver news today. And so on the same exact day that Odell Beckham Jr. announced that he's signing with the Rams, the fantastic timing of the 49ers releasing, essentially waiving, wide receiver Jalen Hurd, third-round pick from the 2018 NFL Draft. Jalen Hurd, who has never taken a snap for the San Francisco 49ers. As we all know, he had the phenomenal preseason game against Dallas in 2018, the 2-touchdown performance. And we have not seen or heard from Jalen Hurd since. Player, it's insane, honestly, at least from my perspective, that he's no longer on this team. I have been covering this team since 2017. That's when we started our journey on Instagram. Obviously, we have branched out to many different platforms since then. But since I have been doing this and covering the 49ers as I do, I have never, ever even come close to being asked, DM'd, comments. I've never been asked more about a player than Jalen Hurd. Jalen Hurd had dominated the conversation or his performance in that preseason game, again, in 2018, lived in fans' minds forever. The what he showed in that 2018 game, again, we saw the running, we saw the high pointing, we saw the run after catch. Like, there was a lot to get excited about with Jalen Hurd. There really was. In 2018, obviously, injuries continue to plague this team. He is yet again another poster child for the 49ers and injuries. A lot of guys that we look at with our time here, the 49ers are guys like Tank Carradine. Who else was injured and didn't do much? You name it. Pretty much half the people that Trent Baalke drafted with his time here with the 49ers. It's been something. It's been something. And you're right, 2019. My apologies. The 2019 draft. We saw Jalen Hurd at training camp this year. I got to see him for the first time in person. Obviously, for him not being up for 3 years, if you weren't in attendance in that preseason game against Dallas, you've never seen Jalen Hurd. The only reason I've seen Jalen Hurd is because I was at training camp this year, and I got to see him. He really didn't get the ball at training camp. He got it. He actually touched the ball in team period. I think for one of the first times on the last days of camp. So it's been a crazy ride for Jalen Hurd. Again, Jalen Hurd made this 53-man roster. The 49ers opted to cut someone to keep Jalen Hurd, to then revert him to IR and then release him now in week 10. Lot of interesting roster moves throughout the year. Again, you can point back to it all with the first initial 53-man roster, again keeping guys like Devontae Harris, who again never took a snap for the 49ers in training camp. He made the roster, was put on injured reserve, and then waived 3 weeks later. The 49ers have made a couple of these moves where just a little bit of a head scratcher in regards to because the 49ers had the most, I think they were tied with the most players claimed than any other team. And so it was a head scratcher back then. It's a head scratcher now. Jalen Hurd was no world beater in camp when we did see him. So I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I get it. He's a third-round draft pick. The 49ers invested a lot into him. If you go back, again, the bond between Kyle and Jalen Hurd, that bond was formed at the Senior Bowl. Remember Mobile to Miami that year? Shanahan was coaching at the Senior Bowl. They even showed clips, I think, on 49ers YouTube channel of Jalen Hurd was sorry. I can only laugh to not cry. Jalen Hurd was, of course, hurt at the Senior Bowl, so he wasn't actually participating. But you got a clip of Kyle Shanahan and Jalen Hurd just standing next to each other, watching practice together, chopping it up, and you could be like, oh, all right, that's where they vibed for the first time. So I'm not shocked that they've kept him around this long, but I'm more shocked about the timing of the release. I'm more shocked about the timing of the release. Again, like this has been 3 years in the making. He gets released at the same exact day that the Rams signed OBJ. It's just like I don't know if it's poetic at this point, if it's just a lot of pain and a lot of hurt, but it's just the timing, the way this year continues to stack up. It's just like, man, what else? We're not even halfway to the halfway point. So if you guys think we've been through it all, just saying. Just saying, we have not been through it all. So there's a lot of year left. And like we said, Jalen Hurd hasn't been an impact to this team. It's just, of course, it's a saga at this point. The Jalen Hurd saga is officially over. And guess what? Guess who's probably going to sign them? The Rams, Seattle, or Arizona. Just wait. The team that's going to put a claim in for Jalen Hurd or put Jalen Hurd on their injured reserve or put them on their practice squad is going to be someone in this division. So get ready. It's not over. And then guess what? Jalen Hurd is going to have a reemergence with that team. We know how this works. We've been here before. This isn't our first time. This is how it works, apparently, in the NFC West. So I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to see a division opponent either claim him or sign him to their practice squad. He miraculously becomes healthy and somehow becomes a contributor for a division rival. I'm waiting for it. I'm prepared for it. I'm not going to even be hurt by it because at this point, it feels like a foregone conclusion. So it is what it is. The Jalen Hurd era is over. I guess one positive for me is I don't ever have to answer those DMs again, those questions ever again. So I'm actually okay about that. Like I'm not joking. I get lots of DMs, like lots of DMs. I'm terrible. I've gotten so bad at responding to messages just because I have messages coming out my behind on every single platform you can imagine. But that's the one that I have been asked the most with consistency, frequency. People want to know about Jalen Hurd. Well, what to know about Jalen Hurd? He's not a Niner anymore. So Oh, what a day. And of course, we were actually gearing up to come on here and talk about the OBJ thing, but the Hurd thing also happened. So we'll start with the news that is most pertinent to the 49ers, which is they have uh, released and waived Jalen Hurd. End of an era, man. End of an era. I know you guys are sad. I'm super sad too. Not really, but it is what it is. Um, I can honestly, Jay Dalco, apologies. I can honestly see as I see going to Seattle or Arizona and him playing against us 70 yards, 2 passing touchdowns easy. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks at this point. Um, so that is what it is. End of an era. Um, New era begins with the LA Rams. Apparently, uh, the Rams just have this magical way of really working around their cap space. I think one of the most frustrating things is not necessarily OBJ signing with the Rams, like in a vacuum. I don't know how to explain this, but it's just like for the last couple years, it feels like we look across our division, the 49ers, fans of the 49ers, things like that. We look across our division, right? Um, and all the teams in our division are fantastic at building rosters, and I can't stand it. You can throw an asterisk on the Seattle guys up there. They've kind of they built the roster up really well around Russ in their prime. It has definitely slipped a bit. But you look at the Rams, you look at the Cardinals, um, they are phenomenal at building rosters. The Rams clearly are taking a different philosophy of essentially draft picks don't matter, and they're showing the case study that hey, maybe they don't matter. Especially if you can get proven guys like Jalen Ramsey's, Von Miller's, OBJ's, whatever. Maybe draft picks don't matter if you can get the right veterans and the right pieces like Matthew Stafford. Um, we understand Kyle did want Matthew Stafford, but it really didn't sound like much of a race, other than just being used as leverage in that situation. Is my takeaway from it. Um, so uh, it's equally frustrating and impressive how the Rams and the Cardinals have built their rosters. Like I said, it's equally frustrating as a 49er fan, but as someone who enjoys the way front offices operate, the way people build rosters, develop players, Cardinals and the Rams, I would say they've passed up the 49ers in that regard. Um, so we'll we'll see. We'll see what happens. But like we said, OBJ has signed the 1 year deal. They somehow found a way to get it done. OBJ plans and hopes to play against the 49ers on Monday Night Football. Uh, that's right around the corner, folks. I don't know. I mean, and this is one of the things that you look at when you look at Stefanski's offense with the Browns. Again, Stefanski is from the Shanahan tree. They run very similar types of offenses. Likely the only things that could be different in that regard are language, but you can find a common middle ground, especially when you've had someone in the same scheme. So I could imagine OBJ suiting up for the Rams and playing for the Rams in just a quick, short turnaround. Like I said, he's been in the system, at least a similar system. So as long as you're in the same kind of similar system, you can make adjustments. You can fix some verbiage. You can kind of simplify certain things. Um, but if everything is kind of built, OBJ has kind of been. I think that's also why Rams and the Packers were both options because they're both offenses that he's familiar with. Again, LaFleur, part of the Shanahan tree, McVay, part of the Shanahan tree, Stefanski, a part of the Shanahan tree, all kind of operate the same style of offense. So It makes sense why those were his options. It's best for him to get in and get on the field right away. That's typically the thing that keeps you off the field when you go to a new team is just trying to learn the verbiage, learn the scheme. Could be made that you did it up the team you were at before. So that matters. But like I said, the path looks clear for OBJ to take off against the 49ers on Monday Night Football. Can you imagine, bro? Could you imagine? All eyes are going to be on the 49ers versus Rams on Monday Night Football. I won't be shocked if it's one of the most watched Monday Night Footballs in some time, just for that simple fact alone that OBJ is going to be playing. And with all the drama that has led up to this point, we understand drama sells. And there's going to be a lot of it. There's going to be a lot of it. People are going to be wanting to see what we're going to see Trey Lance, things like that. So I could imagine it's going to be a lot of eyes. It's going to be a lot of eyes on 49ers versus Rams coming up here on Monday Night Football. So it's a bit stressful. I'm stressed. I'm sure the 49ers are a bit stressed. At least people in charge that are stressed. Because it's I don't think anyone at this point is necessarily going to be holding their breath for a W. Um, the 49ers haven't really given anyone much of a glimpse of I mean, it's hard to say. What's the word that I'm looking for? They they're just not consistent enough. They're not consistent enough right now for me personally to feel confident like they're going to come out and win. I'm just going to say it like that. Is there a path forward where they win? Of course. Is there a chance they win? Of course. It's any given Sunday. It's any given Sunday. Who knows? Maybe the hype, maybe all of this kind of backfires on the Rams. It happens. There are teams that come in all fat and happy and like they're just like, "Oh, we're going to scrape these dudes." And it's up to the other team across from them. If they come in ready to go and they come in giving the other opposing team their best shot, we've seen it happen all the time. You see the underdog rise to the occasion and be able to match and sometimes overtake Goliath. But that haven't really much up until the point to really give the optimism that we think that would actually occur. Doesn't mean it's not possible. It's just one of those situations where it's it's like, oh gosh, the season has been like pulling teeth up until this point. Um, just based on the flow of it. You know what I'm saying? When I'm saying the flow, the way everything is weaved together, it feels like it's weaving together in a perfect way where it's weaving apart, if you will. Just like hit after hit again. We had the bad loss against the Cardinals, and then right after that, it's a McGlinchey injury, and then after that, we find out Tavon Wilson's hurt, and we find out more guys are hurt. Dre Greenlaw doesn't sound like he's coming back this week, so it doesn't sound like we're going to get a Dre Greenlaw this week either. So just it's after a while, man, stuff compounds, stuff gets hard. And we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out how mentally strong these guys are. Steve Young has, if you guys really want to know what's going on with the 49ers, just listen to Steve Young. He'll tell you exactly what's going on. He's been on top of it since the jump. And again, it's what we've talked about as well. It all stems from the quarterback position. What happens when you bring in a Trey Lance into a locker room that revolves around Jimmy Garoppolo, the message that it sends, the division that it creates. Steve Young's been all over it. He's been all over it. So we'll see. We'll see if they can use that to actually get better or if it continues to kind of have them spiral out of control. We'll find out. But this is a game that's going to have a lot of implications either way. It's hard to lose ugly in front of the entire nation. So that's what we hope that we don't get. We hope that we get at the very least, a competitive 49ers team. I can feel okay. Again, it's not optimal. It's not great. I don't like it at the end of the day. But if the 49ers come out and they play 60 minutes, we've been talking we've been talking about this for nonstop, man. Just 60 minutes. Just give us 60 minutes. That's all we want. We just want 60 minutes of your style of football. Like that's I think I'm trying not to be too down, man. I'm trying not to. There is a chance. There is always a chance. It's just, as we know, the NFL is a "What have you done for me lately?" league. What are you doing for me right now? What's happening now? And right now, the 49ers waived Jalen Hurd. The Rams added OBJ. So the timing, like we talked about, it just sucks. It just sucks. Detroit says Jalen Hurd to the Lions. Detroit versus everybody. Yeah, I like the pickup that you guys got. You got the other ex-Ram wide receiver, Reynolds. I think Reynolds going to fit perfectly there, honestly, because of the fit. You know, he's a former Ram. He's with the former Rams crew. Jared Goff, the GM over there. So it is what it is. I want to get your guys'. I want to pull the chat really quick. I want to pull the chat. Are you guys angry? Are you angry or upset or frustrated that the Rams got OBJ? Essentially, the question is, are you frustrated that OBJ went to the division? I think a lot of fans could understand and rationalize uh 49ers not signing OBJ, but what are the thoughts of OBJ actually in division? Are you frustrated? I just want to know. I just want to get a sense of if you're frustrated or not. We got to know. We got all of the above. Nah, who cares? Some people don't care. I get it. Other frustrated. Yes, Jason's angry. Dolomite doesn't care. Let's go, Dylan. Dylan's not phased. Dylan says Niners by 40. He's not worried at all. Rage, not feeling it. It's okay. We got Debo and Kittle. I like that attitude. Don't forget Brandon Ayuk either. We finally got the Brandon Ayuk show. Finally, we saw the Brandon Ayuk that we've been waiting for. Ray's angry. He wanted that wide receiver bad again. Mohamed Sanu's down. Mohamed Sanu's probably headed to IR. So the 49ers do need a wide receiver. And that's not going to be Jalen Hurd. Jalen Hurd's not coming through that door. RIP says he's washed up. Raymar says I'm not worried because 49ers are too good. Yeah, we got Josh Norman. Don't worry, guys. We got Josh Norman. Tim says hell yes. He's frustrated. Otis is frustrated. Jesse's not too bad. He said no. Frustrated, he's in division. Travis said nah. Jesse doesn't care. Juan says it doesn't matter. Joey's frustrated. Travis, I'm good with. Not frustrated. So you can see. There's a wide range of emotions. You got people who are frustrated. You got people who aren't. So it goes both ways. I think part of it goes. I'll be honest. I think we're just, it's just the timing of some things. Can we get something to go our way? Maybe. Keith doesn't care. Keith said, "We don't care. We don't care." Fire Chief says OBJ equals street clothes. Oh, he's calling the shot. He's saying OBJ ain't playing. So it is what it is, man. Ooh, Raymond with the spice says our front office doesn't do anything to help the team, so it doesn't surprise me. So yeah, like I said, wide range of emotions. Wide range of emotions regarding the OBJ news. Let's do another poll. Let's do another poll of the chat. I think that worked really well. That was a good job by you guys. by getting your answers into the chat. Let's try another poll. Let's get some more response from you guys. No, same question. Same question about Jalen Hurd. Are you frustrated about Jalen Hurd? Yes, you're frustrated because you had high hopes. It didn't work out. They kept him for so long. No, you're not really frustrated. It is what it is. You understand. It's injuries, stuff happens. Whatever. At least they decided to move on. Or, what's the vibe? Do you care? Do you care that Jalen Hurd isn't here? Didn't work out. Raymar says no. Dylan is pressed. Jason says nah. He should have been gone. Creed said yes. Jalen Hurd is a big ass bust. We got a bye Felicia in there as well. Armchair QB1 says no. Hurd should have been cut previously. Yes, waste of another draft pick. He was our OBJ. Oh, it hurts. Jesus says he wants him to shine. So it is what it is. Chasing Gold says frustrated because he took up a spot this year. I think that's perfectly fair. Again, it's not Jalen Hurd's fault that he didn't keep himself on the roster. He didn't keep himself on the roster and then revert himself to IR the next day. He didn't do that. So man, we released Simba for Hurd. I love the Trent Taylor reference for the OGs. Yeah, where's Trent Taylor? Let's go get Trent Taylor. I think Trent Taylor's chilling on the Bengals practice squad. Let's go get Trent. What's Trent doing? We don't have a small slot because Richie James is non-existent. Talking along a cliff. Juwan Jennings left. We're picking up the river flowing with Craycraft. Is Craycraft getting called up? Who's getting called up? Someone's got to get called up. So I can see it looks like based on the chat, everyone here, Wizard Brains. I love the name Wizard Brains. Been over the Hurd thing. Glad the story is over. So this seems like the common sentiment. You got the typical dad response. I ain't mad or frustrated. I'm just disappointed. Ooh, that goes straight to the heart of the front office. They felt that, guys. They felt that. Not mad, not frustrated. I'm just disappointed. I feel it. I get it. I think this kind of, for me at least, I'm not mad. I'm a smidge frustrated, but just kind of disappointed. Just kind of disappointed in it all. Would have really, really loved to see some other things happen with the roster earlier this year. Again, we had some questions about some of the fringe spots, some of the moves that were made. Again, all the guys that we have questioned for making the roster are not on the roster and didn't play. And that's the craziest thing, I think, at least to me, is that when we go back and we put our revisionist history caps on and we go back to our final 53 roster breakdown episode, and we talked about these guys that made the final 53, and we were just like, why did they make the final 53? Those guys didn't ever do anything, and they literally didn't play and then were released. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on in that regard. I don't know who is the final say in all that stuff. I don't know. I3 says I'm pissed the hell off. Kyle is a F. We passed on Jamal Adams, Stephon Gilmore, Julio, Odell, Von Miller, Brady, Rogers, JJ Watt, Melvin Ingram. I mean, there's a lot of names here. I get the frustration. I get where you're coming from. There's a lot of names here where some he had some responsibility for, he had done. But I get it. I get the overall sentiment as it seems like, is that I think the 49ers would have liked to seen the roster built a little bit differently this year. That might be a way to put it. Maybe some different additions, or I don't know. But it has been interesting. It has been interesting. Uh, it has been interesting. Don't forget Watson. Uh, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So again, just the timing. The timing. It's the timing. There's just weird timing right now. There's weird because so I posted this on Twitter earlier. I just figured I'd share it with you because this is how I feel, kind of. Um, I don't know if you guys will be able to totally resonate with it or not. Let me get it up here. I'll share my screen. Um, but this is kind of my vibe right now. Uh, Typically, when it comes to football, it's really easy for me to find positives. Um, but this just kind of feels like the vibe right now. Like it kind of feels like, again, I titled it my tweet "Life as a 49ers fan" recently. And when I say recently, I would say like within the last year, since January. Hell, you could go. You know what? Honestly, honestly, this could apply. This could apply. I hate to go here, and I didn't mean to, but my brain is taking me here. I can't control my brain sometimes. You could take this back to the DeForest Buckner trade. Since the DeForest Buckner trade, it feels like we have gone. Now, of course, we have gone through good spurts. We have. We there was a portion of the offseason where we did have a lot of fun. We did. I had a blast this offseason. Did it become draining? Yes. Yes, by the end I was drained. I was mentally fatigued by this offseason. I can't imagine being on the team and going through all of this. But this is just kind of how I feel. It's kind of like when you see again, it's the timing. The McGlinchey situation, Tavon Wilson goes down. They're not cutting Josh Norman. OBJ signs the Rams. We released Jalen Hurd. It's just again, it's like this compounding effect that just keeps going. Hopefully it ends soon. Hopefully it ends on Monday against the Rams because Lord knows we need it. We need that dub. We need a dub in the worst way. Oh my gosh. And can you imagine? Could you imagine if the 49ers somehow were able to get a win against this team, especially with the OBJ hype? Now we could switch that. We could switch that all up really quickly with the dub again. But again, no one's not. I guarantee. Okay, let's pull the chat again. I got to pull the chat again. Apparently today is a pull the chat type of episode. I want to know: do you think we have a chance to beat the Rams? Yes or no? Do you think? And again, a chance means an opportunity. The ability to doesn't mean it's going to happen. Just is there a chance? Do the 49ers, and I want to hear from you guys, drop it in the chat, yes or no. Yes, the 49ers have a chance. No, they do not. Again, this is for Monday Night Football against the Rams with OBJ. Pull the chat. You know the vibes. you know the vibes. Jason says, "Hell to the no. We got no chance." Man, they miss on obvious talent. I'm not surprised they suck at drafting. That's not necessarily that was a missed one pulled up. We got a LOL. Hell yes, there's a chance. Okay. No way. From DeMarco. JB says no emphatically. Travis says yes. Joshua says yes. Jesus says yes. Oh, there's 3 in a row, baby. Let's go. Oh, we got a maybe? Yes. Okay. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. I'm with James. It's 50-50. It could go either way. It could be another steamroll disaster, or we could actually It could go either way, honestly. But because we know it's any given Sunday, any given Monday at this point. Ray says hell no. Um, I like this analysis. Christian says if we get the run game going, then yes, we got a chance. I agree, Christian. If the 49ers can get the ball into Elijah Mitchell's hands more than 8 times, I think that they have a good opportunity to win. If you can get the ball into Elijah Mitchell's, I'm going to make a definitive statement. If Elijah Mitchell touched the ball 25 times against the Rams, the 49ers win. How about that? Huh? How about that? If Elijah Mitchell touches the ball 25 times against the Rams, they win. Bet. You got to get the ball. You got to run. You come on. Come on, Kyle. Why? Run the ball. Well, it's going to be a lot harder now because we don't know what's going on with the right side. We don't. Kyle today declined to announce who the starter would be. Ooh, 1 out of a billion chance. There we go. So, yeah. I mean, it's I like the positivity. I like the fact that we are still acknowledging that we have a chance to win. So that's good. That's good. We like that. We like that optimism because the 49ers do have a chance to win this game. It might not be the greatest of chances, but there's a chance. There's a chance. Just like B Sucker says, we will shock the world. I hope so. I hope so, man. We could use a shocking of the world right about now. I could. I know you could. We all could. So hopefully, trap game for the Rams. Ooh, I like the energy. I like the energy. Small chance. Hey, any chance. If there's a chance, there's a chance. So I don't care how big of a percentage chance there is. If there's a chance, there's a chance. Congrats, Rams fan. Oh boy. Can't even stop the Cardinals. Damn it, Emmanuel. We were on a good train of positive thought there for a second until you had to bring up the Cardinals. Bring up the Cardinals game. 49ers going to slam the Rams. Hope so. So you can see though, it's we still got some hope. We still got some zest. Which is good. I like to see that, honestly. I actually was expecting you guys to say no, there's no chance. So it actually is. It seems like it's in the other direction. Poll to chat. Hey, chat's on fire today. Chat's on fire today. We see you guys. So yeah. I mean, I get it. Y'all forgot who we lost to. So it's all over the place, but I get it. I understand why. Ooh, what's up, Luke? Luke's got something. Yes, we can beat the Rams, dude. Come on, man. If you don't say we don't have a chance, then you one of those fans who don't have faith or put hope into the team. Luke versus what does he call him? The unfaithful? Luke versus the unfaithful is undefeated. Keep doing the Lord's work, my guy. Luke is a legend around these parts. I agree. Let's get up. But I get it. I get it. Then pull the chat. I get it. So we'll find out. We'll find out what happens. You guys are whew. Ooh, I like this one. There we go, Tay. Daddy Brunskill will reemerge victorious from the hellfire. We need it. We need Brunskill in the worst way. Hey, every game is an opportunity to shock the world, and that should be the mentality for this team. Obviously, the fan base is going to think what they're going to think. But if you have to, again, remove yourself from your perceptions, put yourself into the body of one of these athletes in that locker room, you cannot lose faith that any opportunity that you have to go out onto that field and step in between those white lines, guess what? you got an opportunity to shock the world. And that has to be the mentality. I get it. We've been asked. We have not been good. The 49ers have not been something to hang your hats on and be like, wow, I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of how they have performed and what they have done up until this point. I would say that most of the fan base would agree that they are not. And that's okay. But they still have an opportunity in front of them, in front of the entire world, to shock everyone. See who steps up. Let's see. Let's see. We talk about leadership, right? We talk about who in that locker room is going to galvanize everyone. Against the Chicago Bears, it was inherently obvious that John Lynch galvanized the locker room to come out and put forward the execution and performance that they had against the Bears. Multiple players on the team, the coaches have said how impactful that was. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Who knows? Who knows? And you know the vibes. Tell them, T.O. Tell them, T.O. You know the vibes. If you just hit that like button real quick, man, you'd be doing the boy a big favor. Smash those like buttons. We see the squad in here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bread gang. We see the bread gang. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. The kid, Derek, says, I know that we draft RBs because that's the base of our playbook, and they tend to get hurt because of the physicality of them running. But why can't/couldn't we get cornerbacks? Do we not have good cornerback scouts? We did get cornerbacks. We drafted two. We drafted Diamador Lenore and we drafted Ambry Thomas. Do we not have good cornerback scouts? I I'm not gonna say that. Because I don't know. Akilla Witherspoon, when they drafted Akilla Witherspoon, I think Akilla Witherspoon was playing well. In 2019, again, I watched every snap of Akilla, every snap of K1, every snap of Richard Sherman before Akilla went down, and Akilla was by far the best cornerback that we had on our team for those first 3 games of 2019. Unfortunately, he succumbed to the mental hurdles of being on this roster that seemingly a lot of players go through. And Akilla was never to come back, never to really come back and shine. I can't remember. Was DJ Reed a part of this regime, or was DJ Reed before? Can't remember. I'm trying to think of the other cornerbacks that we've grabbed under this regime. I mean, we've relied so heavily on Richard Sherman, K'Wan Williams. We've relied heavily on free agents when it comes to the cornerback position. So we really aren't, as a scouting group, I guess we aren't battle tested in regards to being able to, be able to show the fruits of the scouting and the draft picks. Emmanuel Mosley, I guess you can tip your cap to the undrafted. To whoever signs undrafted free agents, because you have to give them credit for Emmanuel Mosley. Emmanuel Mosley was a great pickup as an undrafted free agent. So, I guess that's a good point. I never really thought about it like that. I've honestly never really thought about it like that. The kid Derek. So that's actually kind of a good point. It's kind of a good point. This regime, historically has not drafted cornerbacks. That's actually a really good point. Another position that they have historically not invested draft capital into is the offensive line position. Before this draft, the 49ers in the I think it was 4 previous drafts had only selected 3 offensive linemen. One of those offensive linemen was Mike McGlinchey. The next 2 were, I think, Colton McKivitz, who was a 6th-round draft pick, and then Justin School, who I believe was a 5th-round draft pick. Don't quote me on that. So they have a history of avoiding certain players in the draft. Offensive line being one. Obviously, we know that changed with them drafting Aaron Banks and as well as Jalen Moore this year. But drafted two offensive linemen in this draft. Only 3 the 4 before it. Cornerbacks, same kind of situation. They have historically relied on veterans at that position. So we're finding out right now about how good that group is at scouting cornerbacks. Again, Ambry Thomas being a 3rd-round pick. I think by all accounts, I don't know how well Ambry Thomas is going to work out. And I'm talking by all accounts, like my eyes, other people's eyes, players' eyes, words from players, based on things that we're hearing. I don't know. It doesn't sound great. It hasn't been great in regards to Ambry Thomas, but of course, we haven't seen him really to make a definitive opinion for ourselves. So yeah, Diamador showed promise. Diamador showed promise. But he got clamped. Diamador got clamped for Josh Norman and Dre Kirkpatrick. So yeah, I don't know. So that's actually a good point. I never thought about it like that. I know my guy Jason Aponte, who's on with me yesterday. He's on with me every Wednesday. We do the state of the franchise episodes. There was a lot. He indicated he does a lot of writing and of course podcasting. He indicated in the offseason that cornerback, and there were really strong cornerbacks available that you could have for a bargain. AJ Boye being one of them. There was a bunch. He had pinpointed a bunch. I had pinpointed a bunch of slot cornerbacks because I thought K1 wasn't gonna come back to us. So we combined. We had pinpointed a lot of potential cornerback signings that could and should have happened in free agency. They just didn't happen. And again, obviously, hindsight being what it is, that of course this team thought they were moving forward with Jason Verrett, but that was another reason, right, why they needed to invest more depth into that position, because Jason Verrett, we know he has a long injury history. So that's a good question, though. Took me down the rabbit hole quite a bit. I like that question. I like questions that take me down the rabbit hole and really make me think and like try to go back and connect a bunch of dots. But I think that's a good point. We don't know what this scouting staff has to offer when it comes to the cornerback position. Again, this is one of the first times that we're really being able to truly scout the scouting group and how they evaluate offensive linemen. Because, like I said, Colton McKivitz, Justin School, on great. I wouldn't. I had nothing against those guys, but not necessarily the type of offensive lineman I would go after. They seem to kind of make a transition with the Jalen Moore and the Aaron Banks. But again, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell at this point. Luke Luna is calling his shot. Jimmy Garoppolo going to be rolling out, drop a couple times. I mean, we're typically good, especially the last 2 weeks, for a couple dimes from Jimmy Garoppolo. So hopefully we get some of that again. Jimmy Garoppolo has historically played well against the Rams. The 49ers have historically played well against the Rams overall. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens. Um, Obviously, a bad game to lose your starting right tackle and Mike McGlinchey. We still don't know what's going to happen on that side, but again, they're going to likely have Von Miller available with Aaron Donald on that interior. Um, Again, one of the things that Mike McGlinchey and Daniel Brunskill have been absolutely effective on, and I haven't seen them get beat yet, was on picking up stunts. And I'll show you an example of this since we're talking about it, might as well. I'll show you an example of how Daniel Brunskill and Mike McGlinchey in tandem all year. This is not just a one-off highlight. Um, they do this all year. They've done this all year. It's been one of my favorite things that they've been able to get really, really good at, which is passing off stunts. What we're gonna have to see now is how Brunskill and whoever the right tackle is, whether it's Compton, um, or Jalen Moore potentially, how they handle stunts. And so when we talk about stunts, I want to show you an example of a stunt. So right here, you got Chandler Jones, you got Marcus Golden. In this scenario against the Rams, you're going to have Aaron Donald right here. You're going to have Von Miller right here. And so when I talk about stunts, it's the way these two work in tandem to try to manipulate the guard and tackle. And you're going to see Chandler Jones go in and Marcus Golden tried to go out. And so what he is trying to do is he's trying to get Mike McGlinchey to sell and block hard down, keep Brunskill like basically occupied, and by him following Chandler down, Golden theoretically can loop and hit the angle, the edge on whichever defender. But again, this is why these two, like, we understand that, Brunskill has had some struggles in one-on-one situations, pass blocking, and what have you. But what doesn't get enough credit from these two is that these two in these types of situation when they're working stunts, which is hard, it can be very hard to do, especially when you don't have the practice of working with the guy. And being in tandem and being on the same page. The reason why this looks so flawless is because they do this week in and week out. These guys understand when a stunt's coming and they know how to switch it. And it's one of the underrated things that these guys have done all year. But again, like I said, the reason why they do it and have been doing it well is because they work so well together. This, you have to work in tandem. This isn't one guy and one guy only. You have to be on the same page always. And this is what terrifies me about who's going to be on the right side and why it is not good that Mike McGlinchey is not playing. Because let's say, for example, you get Von Miller shooting down super hard onto Brunskill. Brunskill wants to switch this, but Tom Compton or Jalen Moore just gets their eyes set on this guy crashing inside. He thinks, oh, he's just hitting me with the inside move. Wrong. You got a looper coming around. You got to have eyes up. You got to anticipate it. You got to be ready for it. You can see, look at Brunskill. The second contact hits, he knows it's coming. Look, he knows it's coming before Chandler Jones even hits him. And so look at the pass off. Mike knows it's coming. His eyes are right on Marcus, and it's easy. And you're like, oh, this is how it's done. And then you get Jimmy sailing the ball. Sorry. I thought it was going to be a completed pass. I thought it was going to be a completed pass. That was not one of Jimmy's better passes. Yeah. But this is what I'm concerned about against the Rams. I'm concerned about this potentially being Aaron Donald, this being Von Miller. If this is Tom Compton or if this is Jalen Moore, again, I expect both to struggle. Which either one it is, Tom Compton or Jalen Moore, they're not probably going to give you the same level that Mike McGlinchey was giving you with things like this. So it is a bit of a concern. It is a bit of a concern. Uh, we'll see how it's managed. So hopefully it's not too big of an issue, and we don't got to talk about it too much. Um, and it is what it is. So I think obviously one of the biggest keys to victory against the Rams is the 49ers offensive line unit being able to not take a hit. To not take a hit, like a significant stack. Um, we're gonna find out again. They're not going to probably tell us who the starter at right tackle is until day before the game or whatever. So we'll find out. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. Um, again, cards are stacked against us. They are, uh, in a lot of ways, but that doesn't change the fact that if a team comes out with the right juice and the right energy, they can play and take down the Rams again. But it's going to take a lot. It really is. Uh, I don't know if Sermon's going to play, man. I don't know. I think Sermon is so far into the doghouse. Like that boy he's chained up. He's got like the 1 foot tether in the doghouse in the back of the yard. Like I don't see Trey Sermon being a factor um at all. I don't. That was my dog. I think someone was knocking at the door and she goes into protective mode. Uh when someone knocks. So hey, it could be. Watch out, Grant. um. So how about this? If you guys have any questions, you guys want to ask anything, go ahead, drop it in the chat. We'll take some time for a couple questions, and then we'll take it from there. We'll take it from there. So if you got a couple questions, let me know. We'll do some rapid fire and go from there. So let's see. What do we got? Is Sermon right for Kyle's scheme? This is a great question. Um, see, this is the I'll never forget. So when I was going to the Academy of Art in San Francisco, I was a multimedia communications major. We did a lot of work like with the sports world. Joe Fonzie was my broadcast teachers. He's a sports reporter for one of the local news stations here in the Bay Area. So one of our finals, this is going to be a long answer, clearly. One of my finals was to go to the Raiders Broncos game. And it was insane because the reason why I'm saying this is because on one side you had Peyton Manning, you had Noshawn Moreno. Do you guys remember Noshawn Moreno? Uh, I had a beautiful view of all the running lanes based on where I was sitting. So I watched Noshawn Moreno be able to run the zone perfectly, being able to set up running lanes, set up cutback lanes, be able to gear up and gear down in the garbage and burst through holes once they open. Playing zone as a running back, it's so much more about feel. It's so much more about feeling the game, feeling the flow of the whole. The whole isn't stagnant like a power offense. Power offense, you're running to a spot. You're running to a hole. It's up to the offense to create the hole, and you run to the hole. You run to a spot. There's no reading. There's no like really flow. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because Noshawn Moreno was hitting gaps, reading it, and on the flip side of the ball with the Raiders, you had Darren McFadden. Derek McFadden was a good power runner. You run to a spot and he hits the hole, he bursts through it. But that was the year they had moved to a zone offense. And I watched Darren McFadden run into the back of his offensive lineman over and over and over again because he had zero feel for cutback lanes, running zone, reading zone, and understanding how to leverage and make your blocks work. Not a clue. Not a single clue of how to do that. Sermon is in between Noshawn Moreno, who knows how to run zone, and Darren McFadden, in my opinion. I see him right in the middle of he can kind of do it, but right now he still kind of feels like he's running to a spot. And that makes you miss cutback lanes. It doesn't allow you to really flow with your offensive line. Again, we talked about it on this channel at nauseum why the run game wasn't working. And I did I not come on here and say it wasn't because of the offensive line? It was because the running backs weren't setting up his blocks. They weren't finding lanes. They weren't hitting lanes with correct timing. They weren't hitting cutback lanes. And a part of that was because of Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon struggled mightily in the first half against the Green Bay Packers doing that. He got better throughout the game. One of his biggest runs was on a cutback. One of his biggest runs was on a cutback. And those are the things you're like, oh, okay, there's the vision. We need that. We need vision. You need to be able to cut on a dime. That's part of playing in a zone scheme. So the whole point of my Noshawn Moreno, Darren McFadden story was that, again, to kind of illustrate my evaluation of Trey Sermon up until this point is that he is capable of running zone. I don't see the vision that matches, if that makes sense. He can do it. He can cut back. He has good cutback ability when it comes to the physical nature of it. What I haven't seen from Trey Sermon yet is the vision, the patience, and the speed control to be able to flow with your offensive line. Again, your offense is all taking the same step, zone right step. All of them are taking the same exact footwork. They're all working basically double to backer concepts, and basically they're flowing like this. The whole if it's zone right, everyone flows at an angle, and it's up to the running back to flow and then find cutbacks, hit the lane, so you have a lot of freedom as a zone runner, but you have to be good at it. Trey Sermon hasn't shown necessarily that he's good at it yet. So this question, again, is a really, really, really long way to answer it. But I still think it's TBD. I don't know. I think if Sermon shows an improvement with his vision, then yeah, he can be a fit in the scheme. But he has to do that first. He has to do that first. He's got to work on the vision. He's got to work on the patience, of course. But that takes reps. It takes repetition. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, you saw it in the preseason. You saw it in the preseason from Trey Sermon. He wasn't having a good time reading his blocks. He was having a really hard time finding the holes. If we somehow win this game, is there still a chance that we make the playoffs? 100%. If the 49ers win this game, there's still a chance that they can get into the playoffs. There's still, again, with the additional playoff games that have been added, half the league gets into the playoffs. So you can be literally mediocre. That's their shot. That's the 49ers shot. Again, the 49ers could still have a completely different season under their belt. They could. So if they can somehow squeak into the playoffs, I would say a win against the Rams is the best chance to do that. Obviously, we've been saying that since the Colts game. We got to win against Chicago Bears, but we really wanted that one against the Cardinals. But if we somehow flip the script and we get the win, because what we talked about in the past after the Colts game, when we were doing our forecast, I broke it down to 3 games. I said What's going to tell us about this year is how they manage these 3 games. You had away at Chicago and then 2 division games at home. I said realistically, you beat Chicago and you split in division. Obviously, it seemed like the Cardinals game was like the best one to potentially win based on all the issues they had. But it didn't work out that way. But they're still in the mix for that. If they still somehow get a victory against the Rams and they do just like I talked about, win against the Chicago Bears, and then you split in division, there's still a chance because then you have the Jaguars coming up, then you have the Vikings after that. So if they get a win, and we understand, we pulled the chat, poll's not super optimistic. If they get a win, there's absolutely still a shot, 100%. 100% they could do that. Let's see. Brad, do you think they'll sign Lincoln Tomlinson to a big contract or play more there and sign right guard with the money or sign another free agent in general? I don't know. I would have hoped if they were going to sign Lincoln Tomlinson that they would have extended him already, because he is an unrestricted free agent and he has not been extended yet. So I don't know. I honestly think Lincoln Tomlinson could probably take uh, the body of work that he's put together with the 49ers and go out and secure a bag somewhere. Again, he now fits into like half the offensive schemes in the league now because of how the whole league runs zone schemes. So Lakin could go a lot of places and be successful. I imagine Lakin goes and secures the bag. That's kind of what I would imagine at this point. Would love to get him back, but I imagine he secures the bag from someone else. Uh, you don't answer questions anymore since you're on YouTube unless they pay you. Never forget where you're from. Sure. Totally. That's very accurate. No, it's not accurate at all. But we know how it works. Super chats go to the front of the line. That's just how it works. Super chats go to the front of the line, and then we work our way down. But it is what it is. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget where you came from. What are you talking about? I'm still here. What? Whatever. Whatever. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up. Okay, I'm way behind. Yep, we talked about this. He's gonna ask for the bag, and I think he's gonna get it. Like I said, I think he's gonna get it from someone else. Oh, I appreciate you guys sticking up for me. This is why the sourdough squad is the best, bro. This is why the sourdough squad is the best. Don't forget where you came from. Like, what are you talking about, bro? I'm still here. Like, where did I go? Where did I come from? I'm still in the same boat. Shout out Luke, man. Shout out Luke. You guys are the best, man. Oh my god. So fun. Appreciate it, Luke. Really do. So yeah, it's fun. Oh, look, a super chat's up. Uh-oh. Oh goodness. Remember, guys, don't forget where you come from. Even though you started right here and you're still here. Oh boy. Thoughts on the Trey Lance post? I loved the Trey Lance post. I love whenever these players start posting. I really do. And of course, the meditation emoji indicates that it is patience. That is the message that is I have taken it. Again, I would say I'm probably one of the foremost experts at essentially um trying to understand social media sub posting from athletes. I've been doing it for years. Um so I think the timing of it, um it's patience. It is what it is. He's waiting. He's waiting his turn. Um I think, that this week there was a report from Mike Silver that took a shot at Trey Lance, saying that his confidence took a dip after some, early camp reps. So people kind of low key hit Trey with some strays. Um, so I know Trey wants to play, man. Trey wants to play. Um, Debbie says, just because I know where I came from, my mom. You guys are wilding. You're wilding today. Oh my god. Uh let's go, Wizard Brains. That's uh good stuff. Good stuff. Uh we see the squad. Sourdough Squad strong, man. Sourdough Squad is strong. One of the most underrated communities in the history of YouTube, all of existence. Super underrated. Super underrated. Um, so there's a lot of variables left, guys. There's a lot of variables left for this year. There's a lot of ranges of outcomes. One of those ranges of outcomes are still the playoffs. I know the fire Shanahan crowd and the blow it up crowd that doesn't jive with your current emotional state, and I understand. However rough it may feel and sad it may feel, what's good, coach? Um, there's we talked about it. If they split, they got the win on the road against Chicago. If they can somehow split, again, it hasn't the momentum isn't in our direction. We understand that. We recognize that. We're gonna call a spade a spade. The momentum isn't headed in our direction, but still doesn't change the fact that if they do win this game against the Rams, the train is back on the tracks, guys. Playoffs? Playoffs? Yeah, I said it. The dreaded playoff word. Um, Demo start this weekend. Good possibility. Both cornerbacks, Josh Norman and Dre Kirkpatrick, did not practice today. Dre Kirkpatrick is nursing a bum ankle, it sounds like. He probably got it after getting flattened by Eno Benjamin to give up the touchdown there. Sorry for the stray there that you just caught, Dre Kirkpatrick. Not really. Ooh, I like this vibe. I like this vibe, coach. I hope so. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Especially with all the so. I hope so. So we'll see. Yeah. Our right side of the offensive line will be a swinging gate for Von Miller and crew. I hope not. I hope not. But we like the vibes. Yes, Eno absolutely embarrassed that man on national television. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. We're going to find out. We're going to see what the 49ers have in store for us against the Rams. It's going to be a battle. There's a lot going against the 49ers right now. There's a lot of outward momentum going against the 49ers. There's a lot of inward momentum going against the 49ers. um, whether it's externally from the fan base, from the media, you know, that you're not going to find a lot of optimistic pockets. Essentially, you're not going to find a lot of pockets of optimism around this team right now, but we'll try to be one of them as best as we can. um, and that, again, to simply state that the door is still open on the season. It has not been slammed shut yet, although it feels like our fingers have been slammed in the door repeatedly, like they're trying to slam it on us, but we keep putting our hand in the way and our fingers keep getting broken in the process. But guess what? It's still not shut. Our fingers may be broken, they may be marred. We might not have any actual knuckles left in our hands, but we have still the door is still open and our hand is right there, and we're holding on. We'll see how long our bruised knuckles will hold up from the door trying to get slammed on us, but we'll see. We will see. uh Luke says this will be a sign of how good Jimmy is at recognizing blitzes and schemes and being able to operate regardless. Even though it will be rough, O-line problems and that defense would be for all. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think this is going to be a Jimmy Garoppolo game. This is a huge game for Jimmy Garoppolo in regards to national perception. Again, get away from some of the team stuff for a second. We know it's a team game. We know you live and you ride as a team, but just let's we know Jimmy's been through the ringer. We know Jimmy and Kyle and that whole situation probably has a lot to do with why the 49ers aren't winning games right now. But at the end of the day, this is an opportunity for Jimmy Garoppolo to show the entire world that he can change the narrative on himself, that he can change the public perception of himself. He can change a lot of things with a great performance. Can you imagine if Jimmy Garoppolo comes out here and outshines Matthew Stafford with the hot new Rams offense and OBJ and Cooper Cup and Daryl Henderson and Higby and all these guys? Like, could you imagine? So there's an opportunity. Like I said, any time to go out there and play is an opportunity. Even if on paper it doesn't look like you have a shot, Jimmy Garoppolo has an opportunity in front of him to go out against the Rams in front of the entire world with a busted offensive line, rookie running backs running behind him, and put it on his shoulders. And so, to Luke, to your point, 100%, we're gonna find out um, what Jimmy Garoppolo is made of. Um, See what kind of stuff he's made of, because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. There's going to be miscues. There's going to be issues, but that's what football is. And the good ones and the great ones overcome it, right? So we're going to see. We are going to see. The kid, Derek, I appreciate you, man, with the super chat. I feel confident in his game coming up due to the previous games versus the Rams. I feel like Kyle knows how McVay ticks, and I feel this is a BA game. I feel it. I like that. I would love for this to be a BA game. 100%. Jalen Ramsey can't cover both Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. So that would also be another great opportunity um, to really see Brandon Ayuk go against someone who's theoretically on paper better than he is. What if Brandon Ayuk comes out, puts Jalen Ramsey in the spin cycle a couple times? Um, we'll see, but I would love to see it. I would love to see Jimmy Garoppolo step up, uh, look adversity dead in the face, and say, "Hey, we know you're coming. We know it's going to be hard. We know it's going to be difficult, but it is what it is. Let's go. It's time to go. It's time to win." Um, for anything else other than just what he stands for, put it on your put. You're the quarterback. At the end of the day, you got to put it on your back, and you got to carry everyone up the mountain. So to Luke's point, let's see if he does it. And shout out the kid Derek for the contribution. I really appreciate it. Um, uh, Billy says, "LOL, Dreamland." That's the great thing about being able to talk about the game before it happens and before it potentially goes terribly wrong is you get to have some optimism. You get to feel a little bit good. You can convince yourself that it won't be as terrible as it potentially could be. So, hey, hey, all right, it is what it is. Um. How many flags will Norman get? 2 flags. Norman will somehow figure out how to draw pass interference while on the sideline, not dressed. He'll figure it out. He'll find a way. Dylan says Kittle going for 200. Um, Trent Sherfield playing the backup role for Sanu. God, I hope so. I hope so. I've honestly no disrespect to Mohamed Sanu at all. I feel like he's been serviceable, but I really just want to see Trent Sherfield. I want to see what Trent Sherfield looks like. I want to see him with some opportunity. I want to see him get some targets, man. Get Trent Sherfield the freaking ball, please. Just try it for once. See what happens when you get your guys involved. Maybe once you get your guys involved, then the morale will come. Um, just a thought process. Maybe you don't have to fix the morale first. Maybe you just give some guys some opportunities and see what they do with it. Oh, that's just a thought. Just a thought, but I would love. I expect and hope. I imagine Kyle probably goes to Juwan. Juwan Jennings has kind of been the next guy up this year for a lot of it. So we'll see. We'll see. We've also seen Travis Benjamin come out and run with the starters as well. So anything is possible. Debbie says, hoping Jimmy isn't having to run for his life. Unfortunately, he probably will. He probably will be running for his life. Yes, he will. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be a tough one. I honestly think, look at the game plan that the Cardinals did. Look what the Cardinals did to us. All right. Swoop. Get back to quick passes. Get back to just elementary style things. Pass plays that are essentially run plays, like just layups. Get back to the layups. Focus on getting the layups correct. I feel like if the 49ers can get the layups correct, they should be able to build on that. I don't know. It just feels like there's an order of operation that is just TBD. We don't know. We don't know the rhyme or the reasons yet. We don't. Juwan Jennings was a 7th round draft pick out of Tennessee. I know Juwan from scouting Marcus Callaway. I actually went into the Tennessee tape that offseason, that draft season, to scout Marcus Callaway, who is the wide receiver for the Saints right now. I actually came out of Callaway's tape being like, who the hell is number 15? Juwan Jennings was a baller. They had Juwan Jennings running Wildcat at Tennessee. Not a lot of people know that. They had him running Wildcat. They had him running as a fullback at sometimes. So he's been pretty serviceable, but I think he is who he is right now. I would like to see more out of Trent Sherfield for sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's drafted in 2020. I think this is his second year. Yeah, he was 2020 draft. Yeah, I think he was 2020. He might be 2019. I could be wrong. I think it's 2020 though. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, today was an interesting day. The OBJ news happens simultaneously with the Jalen Hurd news. So it has been an interesting day. I think a lot of us can understand the 49ers probably weren't ever really a destination for Odell Beckham Jr. based on the way the season has gone. So they were probably pretty quickly ruled out of the OBJ sweepstakes. Um, I think the most frustrating thing for fans is the fact that he landed on the Rams. Uh, if he had landed on the Green Bay Packers, yeah, probably still would have been like, still an NFC opponent, but maybe not an opponent that we still have to play twice a year. We still have to play the Rams twice this year. The next time we see the Rams is the last game of the year on January 9th. So we still got the Rams twice this year. So now that means we get OBJ twice this year. So I think that's probably the biggest thing. Yeah, I'm struggling, dude. I am struggling because I understand all the different ranges of outcomes, right? We understand there is a positive outcome where the 49ers get their groove back. They uh play their game. We see a 60 minutes of football from both sides at the same time. Like, yes, there is an outcome that happens, which would be a very positive one. Very positive one. Unfortunately, um, based on the offseason, how the offseason has gone up until and how it trickled into the season, the energy that this team seemingly has, which seems negative and toxic. Now, I can only evaluate so much and still be optimistic. So I have one foot in optimism town, but I got one foot in pessimistic town as well. I'm split. Um because again, I don't know how long I talked about the dangers of keeping Jimmy Garoppolo on this roster with Trey Lance. I don't know how many times I've talked about that this offseason. We were able to pinpoint the issues immediately because of the way we covered the offseason. So again, that it comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. Do I want to see it corrected? Do I want to see it get better? 100%. But here we are headed into week 10. And with the performance that the 49ers just put up against the Cardinals, I think you'd be a little bit silly not to have one foot in pessimistic town. But like we talked about as well, doesn't mean everything can't change week to week. And they can't flip the script and get back on the right page. But again, who's holding their breath right now? Because we just honestly we don't know. We're so injured. It is what it is. Um, so I get it. We would be singing a lot different tune if we didn't look like we did last week. We looked not good last week, unfortunately. Um, no turnovers on only 3 quarters get it done. Let's go. No turnovers, only 3 quarters gets it done. I kind of agree with that. If they can play 3 quarters of their game and no turnovers, I agree with that. That gets it done. We haven't seen that yet this year. We haven't seen 3 quarters put together this year. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Hopefully, Brad, I will be happier next week. Hopefully, we'll find out though. Coach says, Brad, make it make sense. Jimmy's money and play last season kept him on this team. I wouldn't say his play kept him on this team. I would say his leadership I would say the money combined with the leadership kept him on this team this year. I would say the inability for Kyle Shanahan to acquire Matthew Stafford, Deshaun Watson. He tried to acquire Sam Darnold. Him not being able to acquire a starting quarterback, which he referenced 7 times in a press conference, right? Pre-draft. If he was able to acquire a starter, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo's on this team. But unfortunately, they weren't. So I think this Jason called it, and I think it's the best name for it. Plan Z. Plan Z. The 49ers landed on Plan Z, which is honestly why I think Jimmy Garoppolo is on the team. Because, guys, like a little insider information, breaking news, whatever, it's not. During the offseason, I'm tight with a lot of people on this team. Jimmy Garoppolo was supposed to fly out to Tennessee to go work out with the whole crew out there in Tennessee. He had flight booked, plans were made. He was supposed to go out to Tennessee in the offseason to go work with his teammates, but he canceled. Do you know why he canceled? Because they were talking about trading him and signing someone else. That was in the works. He had to cancel his plans because that was occurring. Like I said, if the 49ers were to get their starter, Jimmy wouldn't be here. Because they weren't able to get that, this is the plan that they landed on. Again, if it worked and we were winning games, it would be a much different story, I think. Even with the crazy offseason that they had, if they won games, we're probably not talking about it. But they're not winning games. And what it keeps coming back to is the locker room and the dysfunction. So it's tough. Dylan says, Brad, if we win the game, you shave your beard. If we win the Super Bowl, maybe I'll shave my beard. Maybe. If the 49ers if the 49ers this year go to the Super Bowl and they win, I will shave my beard live on here. Granted, my children, my 3 children, my oldest being 8 years old, have never seen my bare face. They don't know my face without a beard. So if the 49ers, like, shaving my beard is not an option. Shaving my beard is where my power comes from. The ginger beard, this gingery goodness, this is where all the power comes from. It comes from the beard. So for me to shave the beard, a Monday night game against the Rams, that's child's play. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if the 49ers somehow figure out to get back on track and they go to the Super Bowl and they win, I will shave my beard live. We can watch my kids cry together when they don't recognize their father. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. If they win the Super Bowl, I'll do it. If that's what it takes, if that's the energy that we need, if that's the power of the beard, I'll do it. I will do it. But that's only if they win the Super Bowl. That's it. That's the only way. It's the only way I could break my kids' hearts with this ugly mug. So that's it. That's the only way. That is the only way that happens. Only way. Only way. So. Oh, hell no. Hell no, wax. I am not waxing my face. Get out of here, Debbie. That's cruel and unusual. You just want to see me cry on live. No, I would absolutely not wax my face. I am too much. That's too much pain for me. It's too much pain for me. Um, oh, that's a bold take. I think Colton McKivitz might start potentially. He could. Again, another player that did not make the final 53. Um, that some players were surprised that he didn't make. Uh, so so we'll see. So we'll see. No, we're not waxing like in the 40-year-old version. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But hey, if that's what it takes to win the Super Bowl, I'll do it. So as you guys know, I'll have Jordan Elliott with me tomorrow, 1:30. You guys know Jordan from Niners Nation. He's really good at breaking all this stuff down. He's really good at making it make sense. So Jordan will be on with me tomorrow per our Friday therapy sessions. So he will be back to really break it all down. Again, breaking down putting a bow on the Cardinals game, looking forward to the Rams game, what it all means. Again, Jordan wanted OBJ. So I'm very excited to get his take on this situation. So we'll get Jordan's take on OBJ, the Rams, everything tomorrow at 1:30. So make sure you tap in for that. Thank you guys as always. Today was a fun one. It's even though we were talking about some things that maybe it might not be the funnest topics in the world. We somehow find a way to laugh through it. We somehow to laugh through the pain. Absolutely appreciate the Sourdough Squad per usual checking in. We see all you guys, Coach, Dylan, Debbie, Keith, Luke. I might have said Luke twice, but we see you guys. We, as always, Bebop's in here. You see our mob in here. I see Beats, Don Burr. We see the Sourdough Squad always holding it down. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. Smash that like, hit that sub if you haven't, and we'll be back tomorrow. Oh, and of course, before we go out, as always, I got some big news coming with residency. But as you know, always rocking the residency hat. If you use the promo code the SF9ers, you get a discount and expedited shipping at no additional costs. But I do got some news coming up with residency that I am very excited to announce. I will get into that probably next week. It would be perfect too if it's coming after a dub, but we'll see. More exciting news coming from residency, which is beneficial for you guys as well, which I'm also excited about. We're taking our step up with residency to the next level. So super excited about that. Excited to tell you what we got cooking and how it benefits you guys. So that's coming next week. Got a lot of good stuff. Appreciate you guys.